It's good to see each and every one of you, and I hope that you will find this short presentation pulling together some of the things that you've already seen on your tour and things that you're going to catch up with as you continue the tour. First of all, as you know, Nagle College is a Catholic faith community, and up there are our values, and you can see them around the hall, and they're the values that we live our daily life by, and they're very, very important to us. I think that girls are able to be who they want to be in an all-girls situation. And I notice in classrooms that there is I suppose, permission for girls to shine in a way that they need to shine. So all-girls education I think is very important. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how we do learning at Nagle. And there is our learning statement, and it's about what we believe is fundamental to learning, not just for our girls, but for all members of our school community. And we certainly would say that we need to recognise that we need to be flexible, resilient, but we also know that learning doesn't stop when the girls finish in Year 12. Everyone here believes that every person can learn and succeed. And that's a very important aspect of the whole learning cycle. As I said, we believe it's a lifelong pursuit. We also believe, and we work hard with the girls, to develop their ownership of their learning. That it's not something that's done to them, it's something that they're actively engaged in. We have modern technologies to support us. One thing that we've done this year, and I know there's been a lot of reports in the newspaper recently, is about mobile phones in the classroom. And at the beginning of this year, and this came from both the staff and from our student leaders, and spoke to the girls long about this, there was a concern that having a mobile phone in the classroom was a distraction. And I agree. Since we've said to the girls, no mobile phones, number one, we haven't had pushback, which I think that just goes to show the Nagle girls, and they can see the reason why, and they had a part in the decision making. But they've also reported back at how much more focused they are when they don't have mobile phones in the classroom. And I think that those sorts of attitudes, that focus on learning, is certainly what we are giving all of our energy to. We have a learning model, and it's called Inspire. And it takes into consideration certain ways of learning that we need, not just for when we're at school and to be successful at the high school certificate, but also to be successful when we leave school and take those skills with us. We need to be able to inquire. We need to build up a really good skill set. You hear a lot about problem solving, and I know that some of you here would be talking about problem solving in the workplace, problem solving at university, TAFE, training. In any situation, we need to be good problem solvers. Innovation is constantly around us. What are we going to tap into? What's important? How are we going to use it to make learning more relevant to our girls? And that is very important. It's got to have connections. It's got to make sense. You've got to be able to put it together. And finally, there's a sense of when you're learning, you're taking risks. There's some sort of experiential aspect to the whole learning process. We've got certain programs that we're running now, and I think you will find, and we're certainly finding, that we can reach a much broader range of students. This is our third year of an accelerated maths program. So we have girls in Year 10 who are doing 2-unit maths, and they're also doing the extension course with Year 11 students. Next year, when they're in Year 11, they'll be sitting with high school certificate. We also have quite a large group of girls in Year 11 who are doing studies of religion 1 unit, and they're doing the course in the whole year. And that gives them more options. So we're always looking for ways that we can make learning fit and fit the student rather than the student fitting the learning. We have broad curriculum choices. We have quite targeted support in many different ways. Just recently we've introduced over the past 2 or 3 years a STEM course. So that's science, technology, engineering and maths, and that appears to be very popular and it's going really well. And the girls are doing some great work with their teachers. And finally, we have pathways, so that if a student wants to have a vocational experience, they can certainly have it at Nagle. Last year's HSC results were some of the strongest. That's really just the headlines, but within our HSC results, the story of so many girls who managed to make the best of their results and have now gone on to further study all the areas that they're interested in, whether it's a traineeship, whether it's working within a company. They've got those options. Our top ATAR was 98.35. We had one all-rounder, that means that student got a band 6 in all of her courses. We also had a student who was placed in the state in community and family studies. We had 41 band 6s and 165 band 5s from a cohort of around 100 students. So what we did see this year, or for last year in 2017, we're looking at those results now, we saw significant growth amongst our students. Tonight you would have met some of our staff. They would have taken you into the learning situation. They are a wonderful staff, and they are doing some cutting-edge, exciting work with our girls, but it is the day in and day out commitment and care of our students that I think is the most important thing. They work hard, they go the extra mile for them, and they take their work extremely seriously. But the thing about Nagle is the relationships amongst staff and students. And I can speak about it myself because I teach a Catholic Studies class in Year 11 this year, and that's one of the joys of my day, is to go into class and work with the girls, because whilst you work very hard, it never ever equals what you get back from working with our girls at Nagle. It really is a gift. Student wellbeing, we have very much a team approach, and in Year 7 the girls are in small homerooms of about 10. They are very well known by their homeroom teacher. We have a leader of student wellbeing, a very strong pastoral coordinator, year coordinator, and her team, as well as the school counsellor. Sometimes girls might struggle with settling in, and to be able to speak to somebody with that sort of expertise, I think, is great. We have a diversity team that supports girls in whatever way they need, and we work very closely with our Year 12 students, who are big sisters, to their little sisters, and they have time together and develop those relationships. We also have peer support with Year 10 students. We work through a positive behaviour support for learning, PBS for L. And you can see that acronym of REAL, where we focus on respect, effort, accountability and learning. And that's our approach to student wellbeing. Things don't always happen in the classroom. We have lots of different activities, and I heard tonight amongst us we had a young person who, from a Year 6 class, who's into cheerleading. It's very popular here at Nagle, and we've been quite successful. So it doesn't matter what area you have gifts in, there is lots and lots for you to do at Nagle. Whether you're a wonderful dancer, you love singing, you particularly love to work with people in terms of providing support, and getting engaged in fundraising and good works. They're a very healthy young Catholic group. We also have opportunities in years 11 and 12 for the girls to go on a European study tour, which will be leaving in 5 weeks. Sport, we have oodles of sport. The way in which we structure our sport, however, is a little bit different in that rather than an hour a bit a week, we have 2 hours a fortnight for 7 to 10, but we're also engaged in the Metropolitan Catholic Girls' School competition as well as the diocesan competition. And so the girls go on gala days and our elite sports people go out on Thursday afternoons as well. We would encourage you to have a look at our website, have a look at our lantern, which is our newsletter, which is on the website, and also any of the photos that are celebrating the things that are happening at Nagle now. And finally, this is my dream and our dream. It's a dream that we share for all of our girls, wherever they are in their journey in life, because we know what they do makes such a difference in our world. And we have a saying at Nagle, once a Nagle girl, always a Nagle girl, and that presentation people make a difference. And we definitely believe that as our girls leave our college, that they do take that wonderful spirit with them.